give everybody a second to get in here. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be an awesome, awesome day. We are going to try to have more intentional mornings. I haven't figured out the order yet, but we will do that. We're gonna start with at least a little 5-minute stretch. Not because we're doing a challenge, just because we're moving with intention. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Let me show you guys the day. I love days like this. Days like this are kind of my favorite. You will be removed for saying absolutely outlandish stuff, especially in the mornings. Tap the screen, tap in, say good morning. That feels good. It feels good. Removed, hidden from the channel. is that the wrong leg? uh, it is already being done, but I appreciate the prayers. We will have a lot of people hidden from the channel. Tap in, you guys. Double tap that screen. Good morning, good morning. So happy that you guys are all here. What are we at? About 9 minutes. I think that's good. I think that's good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Are they? Jacob, you strike me as one of those naturals. Father up in heaven, please help guide us through an intentional morning. Help us stay on course of what you have for us today. Please forgive us our sins and help any of those that are with us right now that are struggling through any personal battles or things that they do not or will not speak about. Please help draw them closer to you and know that you love them and that you are there for them, and help them actively seek you throughout today and every day. In Jesus' name, amen. That was my first time doing that, I feel like. I don't know if I've done that before, but we're together in this. So let's get to our reading. Super excited. We're gonna shoot for 10 pages. 10 pages. Again, you will be either silenced from the page without question, or you will get a timeout for saying outlandish things. We're setting our intention for the morning. I ran over a sign. I am not either of those things, but okay. OMG, Jacob, I will go look at your hunting videos. It's interesting that you're on IG. I think that you definitely need to have some of your videos on YouTube. I feel like IG is like where you are if you're scared. So bring that to your truth. All right. I'm gonna bring you over here to my little chair. I'm gonna try to turn on the light. Hopefully it doesn't blind me. Blinded. It's good. It's good. It's good. I feel like we should already be through. We should already be through our book, but we are yet to be through our book. So, just had a little baby boy. Aw, congratulations. Who took my thing? Congratulations, Ben. That's awesome. Oh, stop. You guys know I don't get the lighting right on the first try. Go. Go. You know what? Here, let me help you guys out of your bag. Is that better, you animals? Strawberry jams, but my Glock don't. You like that? Does that get you motivated and inspired? Focused on the day? Little weirdos. Double tap the screen now, like this. Go like this. Okay? Alright. So we have some things that I want to accomplish today. If you have something that you would like to accomplish today, put it in the chat. What are your intentions for today? What do you want to accomplish? What are you focusing on? Tell us. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Making this a rug. It's perfect for you. Ain't gonna say what it is. Just gonna send it. Aw. I'm so happy you're here. I have to. What is your YouTube? I can't follow people from this spot. Let me go. Actually, maybe I can. Let me see. Channel activity. I can't get to your page from here. What's your page called? Tell me your page, Nick. Should I name him? Ben, that is your legacy. You're gonna have to name your son if you had a son today. Working towards reopening my Etsy store, setting up the workshop. That's so awesome, Jacob. Yeah, I haven't done anything like that, but I aspire to do those things. I'm so excited. What are you gonna put on your Etsy shop? Okay, or z. It's your birthday? What? You're gonna hang out with your niece, your twin, same birthday? That's so awesome. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nick. Happy birthday to you. And many more. You don't have a rug page? That's okay. That's okay. That is all right. But we need to get you a page because you do amazing, crazy work, and I know that we could have. Uh, I still don't have a car yet. I'm still not up yet. But when I do, when I get up, I can help you do some filming and stuff. I have one, but don't post. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's like me years of posting. I'm in the process of deleting a lot of my videos from IG and like just past the past years. This is so blinding. But my videos from years, like they sucked. Like I don't want to say they sucked. Like I'm sorry, they didn't suck. They just were a beginner, and it was hard, and it still is hard, but it's fun, and I've learned my style, and it took going through 50,000 different versions of myself to get to the one I'm at today, you know? So um, we just needed to get a couple videos of you doing your thing and the process, and I'm confident I could probably spend 15-20 minutes showing you like my process and a couple tips that would definitely help you get like launch your page, because the things that you do are so amazing, and it wouldn't take much to capture that. So but never a failure. It's all steps on the way to the success you already are. You're already a success. You have all the skill and creativity and a beautiful family. Sheesh. Will I babysit your baby, Ben? Stick him in front of my YouTube. You carve stones doing Ladari work on a lar. That is wild, Jacob. I knew you were a caveman. I need to look up what those words even mean. Good morning, Kenan. Need that? I'll be able to see the growth. That's the best part. I've had ChatGPT help with vids. Have you had ChatGPT? Where are those videos? I am interested to see those, but also, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I don't know anything about ChatGPT videos. I just know when I tried to make ChatGPT do what I wanted it to do, it couldn't. And that's what made me really like deep dive into certain aspects. But some people are really great with the ChatGPT. I do use ChatGPT for some things, but I haven't played around with it with video making. Silversmithing and refinishing vintage 925 silver. You will like. Of course I will. My ring size, you're so funny, Jacob. I don't have fingers. I'm AI. So funny. All right. We said we're gonna read first, so we are gonna read first. Let me grab my book. Then we are going to come up with some ideas. We're gonna brainstorm. I am gonna do that part off camera, but we're gonna brainstorm for our journal for our loved ones, our lost loved ones. I clicked off of the chat so early yesterday that I didn't see what the poll was, but I definitely want to get that guided journal out for people that have lost their loved ones, and also just for my sister in the memory of her. I feel like that needs to be made. I really want to get a funeral planned for my sister, because it's been a couple years that me and my sister have been really salty and angry and not been able to grieve properly. So I want to be able to, my sister deserves a damn funeral, you know? A lot of people, I hear them talk about the funerals and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't even know that having a funeral is a privilege. I thought everybody just was entitled to have a funeral, but there's a lot of people that just die and don't get a funeral, you know? So That's on the goal list. Plan a funeral for her. I would kind of like it to be in September, so I kind of got to get stuff started, and hopefully I can get that guided journal out in memory of her, or not in memory, but in honor of her. So, not standing up, we are reading a book. This is what we are doing. We are reading from one of my mentors. This is Judge Toller. If you don't know who Judge Toller is, she is a judge from the TV. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't have a lot of in-person mentors, so she is definitely one of my chosen mentors. I love listening to her talk. I love her insight and wisdom. I bought her book. We're almost through it, so we're going to read 10 pages right now just to get our day going in the right direction. You sent me jewelry pics on Insta, so no excuse not to appreciate me. Have a lovely morning. Catch you later, Sneaky. I don't always open my messages. I get to my messages when I want to get to my messages because I have thousands of them in many directions. So it's not that I don't appreciate you, Jacob. I do appreciate you. I appreciate the reminder right now, and I will get to your messages today. I will move you up the horde of messages and I will check them out. So thank you for the reminder. Some people send me a lot of messages and it stacks up next to their name, and I don't ever open them, especially if that number gets overwhelming for me. So just a little tip about me so you don't feel like it's personal if your messages have not been opened. I have a certain mode that I have to be in to open messages. And if your messages always get open, let this be a lesson to you that does not happen for everybody. So I have to feel very connected and safe to someone to open all of their messages in a timely manner. I have messages from people I really, really love that were opened really, really late, like after they died. So, you know, we live and we learn. Rule number 33. Your agricultural business is having trouble? Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Maybe somebody in the chat, there's 140 people in here. Maybe somebody in the chat will have, you know, some type of insight or normal. Yeah, absolutely not. Joel, let it out. Let it out. That's what the chat's here for. A lot goes on psychologically when we get afraid and angry. Once the fear chemicals are turned on, they are difficult to turn off, and our bodies don't close tabs on what they were dispensed to handle. So whenever something gets you worked up, make sure you talk yourself down from that agitated state before you move on to something else. Give voice, see rule number 10, to each upsetting occurrence as it happens. So when she says give voice, we talked about in chapter 10 to voice how we're feeling. So if you're going through the day and you're feeling like, I'm not having a great morning, it's okay to say that. It's actually necessary for you to meet that feeling. I'm not having a good day today. This morning started off wrong. I stubbed my toe. I'm feeling frustrated because Cheyenne didn't open my message. And, you know, but continue it with how you would like to feel. It is what it is. I'm going to move on. I'm proud of myself for having the awareness to take a stop and acknowledge how I'm feeling in this moment, and I choose to feel how I want to feel. How do I want to feel? I want to feel intentional. I want to feel happy and at peace. I want to feel like I'm in control of my day because I am. So that's what she says when she says give it a voice. That's what she's talking about. Don't forget to double tap the screen, you guys. Don't forget to double tap the screen. There's 168 people in here. Say hello. You exist. They exist. Say hello. Then tell yourself out loud that you won't let it bleed into the rest of your life. Intersperse elevating events among your tragedies in adherence with rule number 41. The worse things get, the more important it is to show a passion for the proper things. Case in point, I honed this particular rule in court as a means to shift from case to case. On Tuesday mornings, I arraign people. That means I ask them to make a plea to the charges made against them. Often people pled guilty right there, and we would talk about what they did. Yeah, I hit her, and no, I don't pay child support. I often heard this kind of thing. Sometimes I became quite strident in my response in order to get a defendant's attention. But when the case was over, I'd have to go on to the next, all calm, cool, and collected. Nobody likes to be the next person before a judge after she has just let somebody have it. So I made a point of flashing the next man a big smile and saying, "Don't worry, I'm not angry. I'm just doing my job, and part of my job is to address each person independently and on his own terms." Not only did this reassure the next defendant, but it also helped me compartmentalize my anger and not let it spill over onto the next guy. Sitting in my car with tint helps. Nice. That used to help me too. I think a lot of people do that, a lot more people than I knew of. Take a minute, sit in their car. Some people will stew in their car, but I find it a lot more beneficial to set your intention in your car. Thank you. I love this shirt. Let me see if I got something in here. I do. Give me $100 to my Cash App right now, Dangerous Fan. Holy shoot. You lost internet? You're back? I saw you. I was like, you made it up from diving while I was stretching. I was like, but I didn't say it. Okay. Hey, chat, if you're in here, make an outlandish request of people in the chat. Just start requesting things from people. This is, I'm writing a book. I haven't got to the book writing. Tap the screen. We're like 200 people in. Tap the screen. The super chat's on its way, but double tap the screen. Don't forget. In my book that I'm writing, I haven't finished it or started it. I only brainstormed. But one of my rules, because rules seem like the way to go when you read a book, is when you're asked something crazy or outlandish, ask for something in return even crazier. You just might get it. Yeah, we did 2 days worth of work and 1 night shift. I'm on my way home. I finally get to see my kid. Hopefully make it home in time tonight. I can go pick her up from school and surprise her. Oh my gosh! I can only imagine that joy on both of your guys' end, but especially yours, seeing her face. That's awesome. All right. Rule number 34. Make sure you know where the mad's supposed to go. Since your body has no way of knowing why it's all worked up, angry often ends up going places it has no business being. Typically, misplaced anger falls on the first available target or the easiest kill. While your body wants to feel better, it doesn't want to get hurt. So before acting on any anger, you must consider and eliminate all people whose only fault is weakness or proximity. Understand that this is what tends to happen and keep an eye out for it. Case in point, I went 30 years without ever suffering from PMS. Perimenopause changed that. Once every 6 weeks or so, my hormones ran amok. The first few times it happened, my husband took the boys and left the house. Since I had no idea what was wrong with me, I really thought my husband was being the complete arse that I perceived him to be. After a while, however, I began to notice a pattern of my distress. Too much angry in too small a space. Could it really be him? I asked myself, or is there a better explanation? In accordance with the bathroom mirror mandate, I sat down and thought it through. I calculated dates, reviewed complaints, and then I asked myself why. Realizing that my husband's behavior... My apologies, you guys. My husband's behavior was really no different than it had been before. I came to the only conclusion available. The problem had to be me. So now I know that on occasion I will rise up from bed. Of course. You guys rock. And then I'm going to name you guys the Poop Brigade. So now I know that on occasion I will rise up from bed in the morning like the B word from the Black Lagoon. I accept that everything will irritate me and I vow to suck it up. This is not to be acted on, I say out loud. I will not pass this thing along. I then warn my husband. I don't want to catch him unaware. It is 6 a.m., so... I don't want to catch him unaware. He needs to know to tread lightly. All emotional hands must be on deck. And of course, if none of that works, I buy myself a chocolate cake. Rule number 25, the percentage rule. Balance is the crux. Man. Of this particular rule. It's about time, attention, and the ability to prioritize. The rule says everything you do must stay in proper proportion, and that sometimes you have to double check how you are spending your time. Double tap that screen, you guys. You're here spending your time. Double tap that screen. In order to remain in compliance with this rule, all you have to do is step back on occasion and do a priority check. List the things you're doing and how much time they're taking up. Then ask yourself, what was the point of the whole thing when you started out? And did that somehow get lost in the process of getting the thing done? I just got some poop from Costco and it's so yucky. It's so yucky. I picked it up and I was like, is that poop? And it totally was. Yeah, that's horrible. And I went like this just to make sure. It was horrible. Awful. Did I need a check again? No, I didn't. I even checked again after that. And then I washed my hands and then I checked again and it didn't help. So I don't know what they're putting in the manure, but it's solid. It's solid, right? I was like, who did this? Who did this? There was a guy I saw in my courtroom regularly for the first 2 or 3 years on the bench. He was an intelligent man with a house and a job and generally orderly life. Let me drink a little bit of my tea. My goodness. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for all the likes, you guys. I appreciate you guys, being active in the comments and liking the live. I think that that's a more important step before the super chat, but we will eventually have that. Somehow, though, this man got all tied up in the traffic code. Having decided to treat the posted speed limits as mere suggestions, he contended that each person's ability to drive must be taken into account in determining what his speed limit should be. He was so convinced of his position that he began demanding jury trials, believing the average citizen to be equally outraged by this affront. Of course, they didn't see it that way. The jury was picked from residents in the city in which he sought to speed. They were regular citizens with children, and they did not want anyone traversing their neighborhood at breaknecking speed. So they found him guilty. And instead of having to pay a $55 ticket, oh, did you? Best TV judge? Yeah, for real. I agree. So silly. You guys are so silly. That is the perfect word. We do strive to be decent on this channel. That is exactly what we strive to be, is decent. No more, no less. The guy got stuck with $750 in jury fees he could have avoided had he thought the whole thing through. Rule number 36. Man. Oh, liked and subbed. I just graduated from high school and need your advice. How did you manage your priorities between YouTube, day jobs, and polishing? Oh, yeah, you know? I think that you should cut the last one out. That's what you should do, is you should cut that last one out. And cutting that last one out is going to make all of the blood go to your head. So you're going to have all the blood flow in your head, and you're going to go, what can I do with this? And it's going to motivate you to get that blood flowing elsewhere, which is going to be to your day jobs and to your YouTube. Me personally, I was 14 when I got my first job, so I was already working way in the beginning of high school. And I think I was more so worried about making money and living than I was worried about being intentional with my future. It sounds like you're a boy, so I would definitely set your tensions now. I know that you were joking a little bit, but that's okay. It's still a really important question, and I'm glad that you asked it. You just woke up to take the dog out? Nice, nice. All right. Deliberately rework the things that have begun to work on you. If you determine through your use of the percentage rule that something making you angry is taking up too much of your time, you have to implement a game plan to rework your take on what's going on. Life will happen, and sometimes what happens can be annoying as heck. And sometimes no matter what you do, you can't make it go away. This simple fact of life presents you with two options: remain irritated or rework how you feel about it. If you choose to rework how you feel, you have to start looking at the problem from a different angle. Find something to get amused about. Or if there's nothing funny about it, infuse it with some metaphysical meaning. It doesn't have to make sense to the rest of the world or be logically defensible. It just have to put whatever it is in context that fosters calm. Good morning, good morning. And of course, if none of this works, refer to rule number 30 and globalize your pain. Case in point, I got all wrapped up in my phone company once. We got into a battle over a phone bill that lasted well over a year. My heart used to pound audibly whenever I had to call them. Been there, done that. You like how I hit that right there like that? Uh, well, I'm currently on a tour bus in Florida, so my dog won't pee in there. Oh, goodness. Wow. That's crazy that you brought your dog along. I totally forgot you were on tour. Yeah, yeah. I think Naughty Nurse is from Hawaii, but is on tour with Post Malone, or correct me, do you go with different like bands? Let us know. I am not, yeah, not from Florida. Anticipating the nonsense and powering down from the argument could mess up my entire morning. At one point, it got a little silly, so I sat down and said to myself, how long are you going to let these people upset your life? Isn't it bad enough that they took your money? Are you really going to let them take your morning too? After all, two things are clearly more precious than money is my family and my time. You're headed home, right? Right? Kid touchdown. That's what I'm most excited about. My kid in touch grass. Aw. That's awesome. Thus redefined, my anger dissipated, and I was able to move on. Let me see how many pages that was. 1, 2, 3. That was 3 pages. We've been going for 44 minutes now. I'm not sure. Should we continue to read a couple more pages, chat, or should we just hop into setting our attention for the day and read later? I kind of like reading at work because it's one of those things that's acceptable. And it's funny. What's funny about it is because it's like teetering. Like I can see what is she doing? She's not working. But nobody goes, stop reading. You can't read. It never happens. Like yoga, totally not acceptable to be doing yoga. But reading, maybe. It's so weird. It's my observation going through my life. I've always like been very observant of certain things. Keep reading, it sounds interesting. Oh yeah, this is a really great book. Super interesting. I'm excited. We're really close to the end of this book, and I have another book coming. It's called Old Money, and it talks about how people that are from old money live differently than us. I'm sorry, than most of society. Just like how they are in their social settings, how they handle their money, how they handle their relationships, things like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I love my library. I'm doing front of house sound for Bailey Zimmerman. My home is Maui, but I work for a major production company out of Nashville. Yes, yes. Do I breathe manually? I'm working on it. I'm trying to. Yeah, Florida's beautiful. I've never seen it. Heck yeah, Nashville's pretty cool too. I've been up there a couple times. You guys are over here traveling. I haven't even traveled yet. I can't wait to travel with the intention of traveling. All right, we'll read a couple more pages and then we really need to... Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I will be on yeet. Damien the big dog from Minnesota. Wait, Damien? Jesus. I wonder if it's the same Damien that I know. I was in Minnesota at one point in my life. Get off the internet and go travel. Being on the internet is going to help me travel. And then I'm going to have all these friends to visit. Oh, yeah. Double tap, double tap. If you do spam the chat with silly things, then you will be either hidden on the chat without warning or you will receive a timeout. I'm not going to explain which is which, but yeah. We are reading Judge Toller's My Mother's Rules. Yeah. The How Dare You Diaries. This chapter is a devoted this chapter is a devoted to a minor but persistent emotional irritant whose most notable characteristic is its absolute lack of value. An unseemingly and small-minded sentiment, it is an equal opportunity annoyance capable of upsetting the most rational of us, rich or poor, black or white, well employed or utterly impoverished, educated or otherwise. And while this emotional muckraker has been around forever, its modern day version is a child of ease and entitlement, and as such has taken on implications it never has before. That was so many long, big words that I'm like, what is it? Insult. The topic of this chapter is the poster boy for putting the way you feel in front of what you need to do. It pulls you off task, adjusts your agenda, and puts someone you probably don't like in complete charge of your day. Okay, insult. That ginormous paragraph was a precursor for insult. That's what this chapter is about. How dare you diaries is about insult. Hey. People wrote into my court on the backs of insults every day. Some of these insults were deliberate, most were unintended, but others were simply inexplicable. Fights, ongoing neighborhood disputes, small claims actions that were really about money, all of these had angry people coming into my court, spurred on less by the issue at hand, but by insult gone unexamined. Take, for instance, one local professional who took to sending both the prosecutor and the court a barrage of angry communiques over her grown son's traffic ticket. Incensed by our refusal to allow her to present her case in court for him, she spent more time complaining about issues of respect than she did the problem she sought to solve. Eventually, I had to write her personally, repeating what she had been told all along, which was that if you, thank you, I love this shirt, are not a lawyer, you cannot represent other people in court. Days later, I received a thank you note from her expressing satisfaction that someone of sufficient status had bothered to address her concerns. That woman wasted not just a lot of paper and postage in her pursuit of something she didn't need, but also a lot of energy and time. Consider also a group of people I called my frequent flyers. My frequent flyers were a cadre of young people who lived their lives from day to day as if tomorrow would never come. Some had high school diplomas, most did not. They slept late, partied hard, had babies. They were also safely ensconced in their parents' middle-class homes, which none of them had any plans to leave. They were the sons and daughters of stable parents who, through the sheer force of inertia, were sliding out of middle class. Viewing the occasional visit to court as the cost of doing business, my frequent flyers had no intention of letting a little thing like law interfere with their fun. 30 days here for driving without a license, 10 days there for disorderly conduct, it was all the same to them. Image is everything to a group of people for whom accomplishment mean little. When cool and style are your only measures of self-worth, someone else's opinion of you speaks to the very essence of your being. So when these young people were insulted, violence was often the result. He disrespected me was the number one explanation I received in cases as simple assault among the frequent flyers. Unfazed by the specter of incarceration, these guys completely lost their composure when someone called them a punk. Now, at bottom, the frequent flyers were really no different from you and me. We all get insulted and rather regularly. Insult and its aftermath messed up my Thursdays for approximately 8 years, and I haven't quite gotten over it. Therefore, you ought to take anything said here with a nod to my bias. Be that as it may, I still think I have a valid point. What happened on Thursdays, you ask? First, let me remind you that as a judge, I have set bond for accused murderers whose victims' families were in court. I've heard testimonies from victims in negligent homicide cases and have had multiple contacts with ongoing combatants. But I can tell you that my Thursday morning traffic court sessions were filled with more anger, outrage, and unmitigated arrogance than any other proceeding over which I ever presided. Traffic court, in fact, allowed me to hone another one of my mother's rules, the one that says you have to rework your approach to any situation that has begun to work on you. See rule number 9, get your mind right. For almost a year, I was required to warn everyone in the courtroom about their behavior even before the proceedings got started. You could just feel the anticipation and anger buzzing about the air. You would have thought I was presiding over the O.J. Simpson trial. That's how upset everybody was. Before I go on, however, I should point out that most people behaved very well in traffic court. And you can't help but applaud your average guy who takes off from work to come to court because he truly believes he was wronged. In fact, I didn't even begrudge those who knew they were wrong but came to court anyway to take a shot at lessening the fine or avoiding points. The people to whom I refer here are the inexplicable 10% who came to traffic court filled with all of the righteous indignation of a citizen denied his right to vote. They abused my staff and cried foul when they were asked to simply follow the rules. I dealt with people who sent their traffic fines to court with checks smeared in feces. One guy spent $27 in Federal Express fees to send us a $10 fine, all in pennies, in an effort to upset us. In fact, the only time I was ever physically threatened in my courtroom was by a guy appearing on a traffic ticket. He jumped out of his chair while in my chambers, leaned right over my desk, and screamed, "I have no respect for you." This tirade was prompted not by the fact that he thought he was innocent. He freely admitted doing 12 miles per hour over the speed limit, but my refusal to dismiss the ticket on the grounds of some technicality he'd heard about on TV. All of this had me stumped for a while. It took me over a year or so to figure out just what all of the fuss was about, but I finally came to a couple of useful conclusions. First, it appeared we ordinary citizens take great pride in our law-abiding ways, and it really ticks some of us off when someone suggests we've done something wrong. Consequently, some people saw their traffic ticket as a statement about them, as opposed to a statement at how fast they were going on Lee Road one Saturday afternoon. Some suggested to me that their being ticketed in a school zone was the same as saying that they did not care about children. Many got on the witness stand and made much of their profession or the fact that they were a long-time resident. A good one third got so tied up in the personal hurt that they barely mentioned the infraction at all. Then there was the cardiovascular surgeon who'd been charged with running a stop sign. He did not contend that the officer was mistaken or that he was responding to an emergency. He simply kept saying that he shouldn't have got the ticket. I told the officer I was a doctor. He said the officer was not courteous. He repeated this over and over again, but not once did he mention anything that had a bearing on his case. Goodness me. Thanks for all the likes, you guys. My tea is getting a little bit cold, so I don't know. I might go heat it up. We're 58 minutes in. Not sure if I'm going to. I guess I could try to finish this chapter. Happy birthday, Light Star! Happy birthday! It's also Nick's birthday, and my brother's birthday was yesterday. Eventually, goodness, I'm gonna go heat up my tea real quick. You're welcome. Okay. Double tap the screen, you guys. Are we locked in? Should I keep reading or should I wait till later and just read on my own? What do you guys think? All right, you are being put in timeout, Cappy. Next time you will be removed. We locked in? Okay, cool, Joe. Cool, Joe. Where were we? Eventually, he became so outdone by the injustice of the whole thing that he broke down crying on the stand. Tears rolled down his face, his lips quivered, and he visibly shook. Forced to stop the proceedings several times when he was periodically rendered unable to speak, I tried everything I could to comfort him, but no amount of rationality or humor did any good. This man simply did not cope with the system's insistent upon treating him like everyone else. It was an affront to his very being. Second, I determined that people undone by traffic court get into trouble because of how they define the experience. Comfort, like everything else, must obey Rule 22, the all ramifications rule. Ease has negative side effects just like anything else. I began to notice that my traffic court defendants were always using terms like outrage and travesty. It seems their lives were so contented that a mere speeding ticket rated as a horrific experience. Worse yet, by the time they got to court, they had actually started to feel that way, never thinking that those are the same words most people reserve to characterize events like September 11th. So with all these people in mind, ask yourself the following. What happens when you don't get something you feel you deserve? Do life's petty annoyances upset you to no end? Does standing in line or struggling with bureaucracy, red tape, readjust your mood? Do you dwell on criticisms or feel personally wronged when someone forgets your name? And what do you do when someone doesn't give you the respect to which you feel entitled? Does this dictate what you feel and do long after the insult has come and gone? Here it is in a nutshell. Do you take personally the random nonsense life has in store for us all? And just how much damage do you intend to allow it to do? Long after the insult has come and gone. lot to do. So the next time you're in traffic or something small doesn't go your way, ask yourself, if I had to explain my attitude to a 5-year-old, how silly would I feel? That's good. I like that. If you had to explain your attitude to a 5-year-old, how silly would you feel? Let's read our tea. We haven't read our tea today. Guess what tomorrow is? Is it your birthday, Trey? Breathe in peace and breathe out blessings to all. Oh, the tea? So I have been writing in my journal for a long time, and in my list of things that I've wanted to accomplish, I have guided journals was in there. I didn't see myself actually doing that, but I buy these yogi teas. I love them because they have these little quotes on them. So anytime I have a tea, I usually read the quote. But I aspire to have my own tea brand so that I can have little quotations and like inspiring sayings. It's just one of those things. I feel like if you keep your eyes trained, then you can see whatever you want to see, whether, it's signs from God or inspiration or motivation. So I like to think that, whatever message I pull is one that I or someone else might need. So I enjoy these little things. This tea's kind of expensive, but I think I'd like to do an organic one. I don't think that this one's organic. It's just expensive. It is. Well, happy early birthday, Trey. Oh, you know it well? Yeah, I love it. I love yogi tea. Here for it. Headed to the local aquarium for it and making sure Maverick and Luna are on exhibit. Nice. That's exciting. You think it's a protein cup shake? No, this is a dollar store cup. It's plastic, so I'm drinking microplastics and I shouldn't be, but I am. It says instant happiness. Look, I'm gonna get a glass cup one of these days. Okay. All right, we've been on here for an hour, a little bit over an hour, you guys. So I am going to read the rest on my own. Like I said, I do feel it's important to spend some time alone and with yourself. Flavor, you gotta try blueberry sage. I do gotta try blueberry sage. I do. I get them from Amazon now because it's a big package, but I haven't tried that one yet. This one is green tea something. I don't know. All right, you guys. Oh, you're Cappy? I thought you sounded familiar. That's why I timed you out. Watch it, Cappy, because I don't want to have to get rid of you from the channel, okay? Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I love you all. Happy birthday, Nick, and happy early birthday, Trey. Hope you guys have a great, great day. Bye. Cappy was just capping. Cappy's still here, though. Bye.